Welcome! Today we're making fresh baked buns from scratch. These soft, fluffy buns are perfect for sandwiches, sliders, or simply enjoying with a bit of butter. I'll guide you through each step, sharing tips and tricks along the way to ensure your buns turn out perfectly. Let's gather our ingredients and get started. Let's start with our ingredients. You'll need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, which will give our buns that soft texture. For the yeast, grab 1 packet of active dry yeast. This helps our dough rise beautifully. Next, we have 1.5 cups of warm milk at about 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which activates the yeast. Add a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar to sweeten things up and a 1/4 cup of melted, unsalted butter for richness. Don't forget 1 teaspoon of salt to enhance the flavors. Finally, if you want an egg wash for a golden crust, have 1 large egg ready to whisk. Now that we have everything, let's get started on making those delicious buns. First, let's activate our yeast. In a small bowl, combine 1.5 cups of warm milk and a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. Make sure the milk is around 110 degrees Fahrenheit, warm but not hot, as excessive heat can kill the yeast. Now sprinkle 1 packet of active dry yeast on top of the milk sugar mixture. Gently stir to combine and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. You should see it froth and bubble, which means the yeast is alive and ready to work its magic in our dough. This step is crucial, as it ensures our buns will rise beautifully. Now that our yeast is activated, let's mix the dough. In a large mixing bowl, add 4 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. Stir them together to distribute the salt evenly. Next, make a well in the center of the flour. Pour in our yeast mixture and the 1/4 cup of melted, unsalted butter. If you want richer buns, you can also add 1 large egg here. Mix everything together until it forms a shaggy dough. This step can get a bit messy, but that's part of the fun. Once it's all combined, we'll be ready to knead. Time to knead our dough. Dust your work surface with a little flour to prevent sticking. Transfer the shaggy dough onto the floured surface. Begin kneading by pressing the dough with the heel of your hand, folding it over and repeating this motion. Knead for about 8 to 10 minutes. You're looking for a smooth and elastic texture. If the dough feels too sticky, sprinkle a little more flour as you go. Proper kneading develops the gluten, which gives our bun structure and that delightful chewy texture. Once it's ready, we can move on to the rising phase. Great job kneading! Now let's let our dough rise. Take a large, lightly greased bowl and place the dough inside. Cover the bowl with a damp cloth or plastic wrap. This will create a warm environment for the dough to rise. Find a cozy spot in your kitchen, ideally around 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Let it rise for about 1 to 2 hours, or until it has doubled in size. During this time, the yeast will work its magic, creating air bubbles that give our buns that fluffy texture. Once it's risen, we'll punch it down and shape our buns. Now that our dough has risen beautifully, it's time to shape our buns. Start by gently punching down the dough to release the air. Transfer it back to a floured surface. Divide the dough into 12 equal pieces. You can use a bench scraper for this if you have one. Take each piece and shape it into a smooth ball by tucking the edges underneath. Place the shaped buns on a lined baking sheet, leaving some space between them. This is important because they will expand during the second rise. Once they're all shaped, we'll cover them and let them rise again. With our buns shaped, let's go for the second rise. Cover the baking sheet with a clean cloth. Let the buns rise for another 30 to 45 minutes. During this time, they will puff up and become nice and airy. Make sure they're in a warm place, as warmth will encourage the yeast to continue working. This is a crucial step for achieving soft and fluffy buns. While they're rising, we can preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's ready for baking once our buns have finished rising. Now we're ready to bake our buns. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit if you haven't done so already. Once the buns have risen nicely, you can brush the tops with an egg wash for a beautiful golden color. Just whisk 1 egg and gently brush it over the surface of each bun. Then place the baking sheet in the oven and bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, or until the buns are golden brown. You'll know they're done when they sound hollow when tapped on the bottom. Once baked, Remove them from the oven and let them cool on a wire rack. If you'd like, brush the tops with a little melted butter for extra flavor. Lastly, let's go over some helpful tips for making perfect fresh baked buns. First, always check the temperature of your milk. It should be warm but not hot. Around 110 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal to activate the yeast without killing it. When kneading the dough, remember to use the heel of your hand and apply firm pressure. This develops the gluten, giving your buns that lovely texture. If the dough feels sticky, don't hesitate to sprinkle in a bit more flour, but avoid overdoing it. During the rising stages, find a warm spot for your dough. If your kitchen is cool, you can preheat your oven for a minute, then turn it off and place the dough inside, covered with a cloth. Lastly, for a beautiful golden crust, brush the buns with an egg wash before baking. And don't forget to let them cool on a wire rack to keep the bottoms from getting soggy. Enjoy your fresh baked buns.